Hey traders, this is Taylor with Topic Trading. Wanted to give you guys a chart review. It's Wednesday, October 11th, 2023, and you can see that we had this uptrend through the overnight break, attempt at a retest, but couldn't quite get up there. Then we sold off pretty strongly. This channel may or may not be valid. Could just be a break and a couple legs down. Went into this range, bounced off the overnight lows pretty strongly. That got a break a new high. And then we proceeded to sell off again. Got this channel working down, break, and now it's got a new low. And it's about 2 p.m. Eastern, so there's still a couple hours left. But I want to go ahead and give you guys the review. So, like I said, we pushed up through the overnight, confirmed this channel right here. 8 o'clock was right in here. I don't see any setups through here. We push higher, we get a higher low, just not quite good enough of a bar. We do get a failure, but it's kind of sideways and finishing high, so I didn't mark that. Push higher, we get a nice bar at the EMA, but huge bearish bar in just a first entry. It gets a break a new high, sells off strongly. We got a strong micro downtrend here. We get like a triple test right here, but right into that EMA, bit congested, and this downtrend doesn't have a clear break a new low yet, so I didn't mark that. No setup for the higher low after that. Stops higher, gets a new high from this channel. Technically got a new high here, but this was kind of like the second leg up. Sells off again, right into that EMA. This was pretty tricky right here. If you took this trade, I get why. But you can see we keep coming up short here, and there's not. I like there to be a lot more local PA in your favor too, and right here it's just not much in your favor. Maybe you had this trend right here, but it feels a bit wide, and that actually had the retest already anyway. So kind of a tricky one. So if you got fooled on that one, I completely understand why. I stayed out because of the more local price action, like I said. Sells off, gets the break, comes up here. I don't see much in here I like. Turns lower, up sideways. You get a break a new low from this micro downtrend. Comes back, sets a possible trend line here. And if you trusted the trend line, then maybe you considered the higher low, but it's really close to the lows, and I'm not so sold on this being valid. And really, it looks like it's probably just a break a new low. Continues lower, chops sideways. We get a triple test here and a lower high, but these are both inside bars of this bar, so I don't like that trade particularly. Pushes to the lows, bounces off these overnight lows here. Decent bar, but not that strong. You get a higher low here, and I meant to mark these. So this higher low, I think is actually a pretty good trade. I like the way it closes above the EMA, bounces right at this support line. All your downtrends have played out. Good bar. I like that trade. And then this one as well on the engulfing. You may try to get a little scalp out of it. I'll mark it green for aggressive just because it does close right into those highs. Really strong bar though, confirming that key entry point as well. So you probably got them trapped to the short side. So both of those trades are pretty good. I would probably take this one engulfing though, like I said. Pushes higher, get a break. New high, second entry is right here and sideways and far from the EMA. Close to the highs as well. It pushes up to a new high. Just a first entry short. And, I didn't consider that with this bull strength coming in. It could still be a range day, keep in mind. So, wasn't really thinking short necessarily, but then we drop lower really strongly. We get a first entry here, kind of like a visual technically, but this really just looks sideways, so it looks more like a first entry short. Pushes right into those overnight lows too, so I don't like that setup. We get a second entry short, inside bar, really close to those lows again. So I don't like that setup. It does end up pushing lower. It would have stopped you actually. Pushes higher, get a first entry. This is a little bit wider, so you may not have trusted that trend line either. Could be like, no, that doesn't really fit. So I think this is it. It is a little wide. It doesn't touch up here. Maybe even something like this. Just playing with it just a little bit. But anyway, it doesn't matter really because you don't get any setups through here. Comes back. You get a second entry short. Doesn't trigger. No setup anyway because not quite back to the entry point. Came up short of the lows, and this downtrend's played out. I don't think this is valid. I think it's a break a new low. especially looking back. Drops lower, and we get a second entry here. Triple test as well, but bad bar. I think if we got a really good bar here, you could consider that. Just playing the resistance and the count as a second entry. Drops lower. First entry short, no setups. Drops sideways, and now we're pushing above the EMA. I wanted to show you guys the second chart that I'm watching. Way more setups on it. Not way more, but several setups on it today. Same uptrend. I don't see anything through here again. This trend looks a little better on this one. You get that third touch right here. So maybe it is valid. Come up, you get it's a third entry here, but it's a bit of a triple test, like one. Let me get my mouse on here really quick. Kind of like one test, a bit like two right here, and then a third one. Big bar. Maybe you try a limit on that one. Comes back. I think this would have been a good trade, but unfortunately no trigger. Takes 2 bars later to trigger. Then you get the lower high right into those lows, so I don't like that one. But then you get this really strong second entry long bounce off the overnight lows and off this close here. Also like a failed breakout from the smaller range. And this has now played out as well. So I like that trade. I like chancing it there. You don't get the higher low or the failure on this chart though. You get a second entry here, but it's far from the EMA. It's the new high. You get a failure here, but right in the EMA. And then you get a lower high. Just kind of congested. So I didn't mark that. Comes back, second entry. Kind of a strong push here. Really feels like one leg up, so I don't like that. And then here you get an inside bar. If that one trapped you, I can see why. But really wanted to take above there. Right into those overnight lows too, so right around that area. Drops lower, gets the break and new low from this micro downtrend, comes back, no setup, drops lower. You do get a lower high on this chart, but feels kind of like it moved too far, and it's kind of it didn't really correct, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So maybe you would have chanced that one, but personally I didn't risk it. It drops lower, goes back to the EMA, nothing there. You get a first entry, second entry here, but bullish bar. Lower high here. If you had this trend, then maybe if you thought this was valid, this one could be a possibility. And really, either way, it's also a bit of a triple test. Failed breakout and then test it twice. It's a failed second entry long as well. Really good bar. A bit congested. So even if you didn't have this, that triple test does make it a little more appetizing. So maybe you take that one. Pushes higher, gets a second entry short, bad bar. Pushes lower, and now you're expecting at least a retest on this. And lo and behold, you get a nice second entry right at the EMA, and at this possible wider entry point. You do have the break from it, but a lot of times it'll come back after a break, test that same area. So that's a pretty good trade right there, in my opinion. Nice second entry short, drops lower. And now here we are at the live price action again, pushing higher. So you're still watching live. You'll see this after this, but would be looking for a potential second entry long off this EMA here. But we are turning right at that resistance as well, so something to keep in mind. Hope you guys enjoyed that review of both the charts. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in more of our content or how we trade price action, check out our website, toppicktrading.com. We sell a course you may be interested in. It's got a lot of good content, a lot of homework, so check it out if you're interested. And thanks for watching, guys. See y'all next week.